While it is late for others, it is early for some. I was watching some football highlights, trying to catch up on my Week 10 highlights, and I remembered a story that somebody told me about while the Detroit Lions game was going on, and that is your coach, Dan Campbell, is rumored to be among the searching candidates, the coaching candidates for the Texas A&M job. Now, this is coming from Bleacher Report. Jimbo Fisher was fired this weekend. It says Oregon head coach Dan Lanning and the Detroit Lions' Dan Campbell could be among those pursued by Texas A&M when they dive headlong into the search for a new head coach after firing Jimbo Fisher, according to the Athletics' Bruce Feldman. Well, the Athletics they've been all over the place. It continues in here. It says, definitely could see A&M wanting the 37-year-old, and he also described Campbell as a big wild card wish candidate since Campbell is an Aggies alumnus, and he went to Texas A&M from 1995 to 1998, and then was drafted in the third round of the 1999 NFL draft. The Texas A&M school paid off. They're paying Jimbo Fisher for literally the next 8 years, $76 million. He gets every dime of it, but that's not the issue. That's neither here nor there. But Dan Campbell, from meathead, macho man, moron, to now a potential head coaching candidate for Texas A&M as far as them wanting him on as their head coach. I believe this 100%. Is Dan Campbell going to leave the Detroit Lions? I am going to say absolutely, positively, no way, no how this happens. Not only is he under contract with the Detroit Lions for the next 3 years, he is also not going to give up a job that he so wanted back in the 2021 NFL season. If you go back and you watch that, I mean, contract stuff aside, this guy has worked so hard to get this roster and get this team that we are, some would say, ahead of schedule. There's no way that this happened, but I think this is interesting. And I think we're going to see a lot more of this. We're going to see a lot more of this. We talk about Ben Johnson being a head coaching candidate, but what about our current head coach? We have seen the media, we have seen other NFL teams talk about how they would play for a guy like Dan Campbell. As a matter of fact, when this free agency period starts, we're going to have the most money we've ever had under the tenure of Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. And we're going to have some guys, from big name free agents to the smaller guys, want to come play for our team. I think this is very interesting. This is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. Now, usually in an NFL situation, if you try to poach one coach from another, it's going to be some type of draft capital involved. So that's what would probably happen, in some payouts if it were the NFL. We've seen head coaches go from getting fired or quitting NFL jobs and going to coach college teams. Matt Rule is one of them. He was fired last year from the Carolina Panthers, and then he went on to coach Nebraska. So we've seen it happen before, but I would put this YouTube channel, and I'm not a gambling man. I don't gamble at all, but I would put this YouTube channel, the 2 years of growth and work, I would put this YouTube channel up and say Dan Campbell is not going to go coach Texas A&M. I think it's thoughtful. I think it's pretty. I think it's cute that they're asking, and they might even a shot in the dark, try to ask Dan Campbell. And I think it's a mixture of him being an alumni, and also they see that this guy has turned what the Detroit Lions were in 2020 to what we came from, to a division leading playoff caliber second seed in the NFC. So I wouldn't worry about this, Lions fans. No, this channel would disappear before you see Coach Dan Campbell go coach for Texas A&M. But I think it's cute. I think more of this is going to come. There are going to be other NFL teams. If you look at Antonio Pierce, the guy, the interim coach for the Las Vegas Raiders, got a lot of Dan Campbell. You know, Dan Campbell made it cool to be yourself. He made it cool to be the guy that you want to be. You don't have to pretend anymore. Dan Campbell brought that to coaching in the last 3 years, and now coaches are trying to mimic his style, being that player's coach, right? The former player. So this is not going to happen, but I wanted to talk about it. Like I said, it is currently 1:19 in the morning, but if you want to be the best at what you do, you have to be willing to work the late hours. So let me know your thoughts. I think it's cute. Let me know your thoughts on Dan Campbell and Texas A&M wanting him as head coach potentially, and this would be a good conversation. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other, and as always, go Lions.